Got it.
All right. Intro time. Hello, and welcome to the For We Are Many podcast. My name is Rob, and we have some people here today.
People. That includes myself. I'm Scott Williams, otherwise known as the Pragmatic Pinko.
And I'm Trisha, also known as the Zen Motherfucker.
There's nothing more zen than saying motherfucker, by the way. I love that name.
I know saying motherfucker helps me keep my zen. It's balanced.
To be fair, I don't think there's anybody more zen than Samuel Jackson. He's just the most zen person ever, and he says it all the time. So there's
I'm
going to be
sick of
something
these
to that.
motherfucking snakes on this motherfucking plane.
Exactly.
If you hold those motherfuckers in, then you just let that angst build up. You've got to let it go and be like, motherfucker. And it helps. And then you feel better. And you can maintain your zen.
Yeah. The only way you can really top that is, to actually fuck a mother. Not your own. That's gross and weird, but
Right. Fact.
Yeah, single.
But other
this went off the rails.
Emily said happy anniversary. And I love people. Well, these people.
Yeah.
And James said, holy crap, it's 2 years of DJ Rob.
Listen, it serves to reason that our anniversary for this podcast would be on the same day as anniversary of the January 6th.
Well, yeah, that's when we started because
storming the Capitol.
So for those that don't know, our first show, we were already planning on starting the podcast, but we didn't know how we wanted to approach it exactly. We were still trying to figure that out. And we were having a video call through Facebook Messenger while the, I don't want to call it an insurrection because it really wasn't.
The faux revolution.
Yes, exactly. And we were just kind of like, well, shit, like this conversation that we're having right now, we could just go live and have this conversation in public. And that's how the current event stream was born.
I'm in favor of storming the Capitol, but I feel like it should be for the right reasons. Like declaring election fraud might not be.
Or I mean, at least if you're gonna declare election fraud, if you want to come at how the whole system is fraudulent, go for that, right? But to say that the guy that got way less votes and way more, to say that he won when he very clearly didn't.
Right. Yeah, if you want to say the whole situation is rigged, that's I would come at it with that. Be like, let's talk about how basically money equals votes here in this country. We can have that conversation. That's a much better conversation than what ended up happening was the guy with the most money lost. I guess doesn't make any sense. What was that?
That would require them actually having some political line and knowledge and some praxis, though. And they were only interested in installing Trump as dictator, you know? So, like, that's definitely something we discussed that night. And then I vehemently emphasized of, like, right idea, wrong motivation.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Yeah.
I'll never forget Dean's like commentary on the things they were doing. Like, man, so you mean to tell me they got inside the Capitol building to like, you know, put their feet on Nancy Pelosi's desk and sniff AOC's shoes? Like,
like they didn't know all about what to do once they were in there. They could have legitimately formed a new government while they were in there, and they didn't know it. It's like,
Right.
oh, you sad, pathetic things.
Yeah,
Talia,
somebody-
darling,
or-
I can't hear you.
Okay.
I heard you just a second ago.
Speak to us.
I'm
Oh,
trying
I
right
was
now,
saying
so
fact,
let's see.
big
Is it not
I
working?
believe
take it?
the phone
Or-
number is William. I hear him too.
Yeah.
What's going on, guys? Thanks for having me on the show tonight.
Yeah,
Hey,
thanks
William.
thanks for
Okay, there
joining
we
us.
go. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Only
Loud
took me
and clear.
like 10 tries. How's there? So yeah, apologies for for the mic issue. New computer, so having to get used to the new setup.
It
Now,
happens.
I love the
Yeah,
room
true.
you're in. Hot
Yeah,
damn.
thank you. Yeah, this is what I'm now christening as the freshly single studio, but you know, I'm not celebrating.
Cheers.
The triple dot team behind you.
Hey, I could do a shot right now, right? I could do a shot on stream. I hope.
I
Yeah.
don't see. I mean, Trisha smokes weed every week, so I don't know what the problem with a shot would be.
To all my friends, Nashudovia, to 2 years, to a better future, and yeah, that's all I can say.
I did not even think to, you know, bring up a drink.
Hey, you're totally fine. Just means we can drink more alcohol later.
Yeah, we don't need a
Also, I
reason.
want to apologize to everybody that's watching and everybody that's participating for me scheduling this thing at 11 and then not even being home at 11. But, you know.
Well, I mean, hey, it's totally fine because basically, if you would have gotten on at 11, then I wouldn't have been able to have joined because I was busy having to break up calls. So, you know.
Oh, you
so-
mean freshly minted breakup?
That's what I was going to say.
Wow! Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah.
I hope. It seems
very
like you're
much
happy
so.
about it. Okay. All right.
Yeah, basically, I was planning on doing it Sunday, and the opportunity presented itself tonight. So,
You moved it up. You bumped up the schedule.
yeah, just a little bit.
I like that you have it like in your planner. You know?
Oh, so yeah. And this is
Sunday,
one of the-
break up with that bitch.
Yeah. Basically, I was planning on doing it on Sunday for a very specific reason I'm not going to get into on here.
Fair enough.
But yeah, basically, I was like, screw it, may as well do it. Because Zen and I had a conversation about the whole situation. Like, yeah, this needs to happen. So, by the way, definitely unrelated. Trans healthcare is a human right. Just want to throw that out there.
Okay.
Yes, that's true.
I don't think you're going to have anybody disagree with you on that.
Just a random comment I wanted to make.
They are humans. We agree.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Not just healthcare, but psychiatric care, I think, as well. And
Yep.
we need to stop
Absolutely.
treating it like it's a mental illness.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, because I am mentally ill, just not in that way.
We all got a little bit of that in us.
I mean, it's like, hey, I'm a PTSD and anxiety gang. It's like, I got you.
Pick from the entire selection. That's
Well,
not
I
one
mean-
of them.
I mean, like, shit. I mean, according to some people, like me having a fucking Russian flag hanging up in the studio right here would mean that I have like some sort of mental illness, but you know.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know that the Russian flag makes you mentally ill. It puts an entire country in the realm of mental illness. So,
Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, but all I'm gonna say is Slava Rossi, so you know.
okay.
I also just realized that in my hurrying to set this up, that I hit the wrong event. So we're live and we have viewers, but the title is Hassan Shakur Education Class Week 1.
Oh God.
If this is this is the worst education class ever.
Well, I mean, here's what it means, though. It means I was able to derail everything without it, like, derailing the main event.
Oh my God. This is the For We Are Many Late show. Not the Hassan Shakur Education Class.
It's like late night with For We Are Many.
Listen,
Yeah.
I like the smooth jazz in the background. It really does ring true for the old late night. I feel like I'm on Johnny Carson.
Yeah, the late night show, baby.
Which this is obviously we're doing this. I didn't turn my camera back on. Wow.
You did not.
Well, I turned it off so I could stuff hot dogs in my mouth, but
Is that what they're calling it now?
shut the hell up.
I mean, it's like all I'm gonna say is I'm currently looking at the dildo collection I have, so you know, not saying anything. I'm just saying.
Wow. All right.
Well, I mean, like I am a cam girl. This is my studio, so
It's
you know,
not
it's kinda
that
like,
kind of cam show.
Shit.
That's hilarious.
Kind of hot dog.
Well, I mean, it's a good thing I was planning on covering up a little bit tonight, then, now, isn't it?
For who?
It's not that kind of cam show. I was just told. So
Can you imagine the viewership though? We'd be off the charts.
I mean, if you want me to change, I will.
And climbing.
So did you guys miss having me for the past almost year? It's like, God, I'm just like a bundle of chaos.
Did you
I
say
mean,
chaos?
Oh, was that right?
What did you just say?
I just said I'm a bundle of chaos.
Chaos. I thought you created your own word, which I thought was great.
Yeah.
I was super excited. I was like, yes, let's cause some chaos. Let's do
Chaos.
that.
That is a word. That is a word. So word of the day, word of the day, chaos. When all of the gays finally rebel.
Okay, I'm here for it. Zach, also known as Bread Theory, said, congrats to 2 years. Here's to many more.
Yes. Right on.
Thank you, man. You've
You
been
just
going
want to do a shot for every
more
time
than
someone
that,
says happy
right?
2 years.
Oh,
All right.
man.
Oh, every 2 minutes we're going to be saying that, by the way.
Happy 2 years, happy 2 years, happy 2 years.
You know, my whole plan for the first segment for this show was to talk about the different political philosophies on the left and how we differ and how we unite. That like went out the fucking window right as soon as this. I think probably half an hour before this podcast started.
Okay, cool. I was like, oh shit, did I do that? I mean, hey, depending on who you ask, it won't be the worst thing I've done today.
Somebody's going to catch the ball, though. Somebody's going to catch the ball, you know? Sometimes it's a long pass.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I'm glad you're here to catch it. That's all I'm saying.
Hey, that's what we're doing for the future. We change the world, baby.
Hey, that's
Amen to that.
Yes.
I'll drink to that.
So I got a
Oh, yeah.
chance actually to listen to William's music last night. And I have to tell you, it is the chillest shit I've ever heard in my life. Like it is you know that music that you hear and you think I'm the coolest person in the world when this is playing? That's the feeling I got when I listened to his music.
Hey, I appreciate the vibe. That's what I'm talking about.
I totally did. I was like, listen, I'm like, this is so fucking cool.
Well, welcome. And if you haven't heard Welcome, you'll love that. It's got a nice visual.
Excellent. I want to listen to all your music now, just because like that vibe was created. What is going on with my hair tonight? I look like I've got fucking Hitler hair going on. I don't know what's happening.
Man, I'm having a wild
Now
night.
we're gonna get flagged because you said the HG.
But
Well, I mean, in all honesty, though, like knowing this website is probably going to bump us up in the algorithm. So,
Ooh.
Ouch. Well played.
that's sweet.
Well played.
am
So
I
do
wrong
we-
though?
No, you're not.
Do we want to dive into that? Do we want to talk about political philosophy, or are we just sort of like, this is the Late Show, so fuck that? But what does the
Hey,
audience
let's
feel
go for
like?
it. Let's see where it takes us. Let's go down the rabbit hole, baby.
Go down the rabbit hole. I fucking love this guy.
Wait,
Speaking of like your intro stuff, Scott, didn't you want to like draw attention to your Trotsky background?
Oh yeah, here he is. Here's my guy right here. I'm the only Trotskyite in this group of tankies. So, of course, I want to talk about unifying the left. And if that doesn't work out, I'm sure by the end of the night I'll get the axe. Literally.
Well, no. You're just gonna be found forever asleep in your studio.
Yeah.
By mysterious ordered by a mysterious Georgian.
Yeah.
And I say that as probably like the least left-wing person in this entire group. Like, hey, I'm just here because I'm here. Like, that's all I can say. And like, I'm usually just the bitch you guys ask about like Russian shit for or whatever.
The least, now I want to hear more about that. Least left-wing person in the group.
Oh shit! God damn it!
Oh, fantastic! No, yeah, now everybody's standards up. Let's hear this shit. Do we have a liberal amongst our ranks?
No, I have no justification for saying that. I just threw that out there because I'm the one like who's only been on stream once, and I'm like hardly ever actually talking in the group.
Yeah, but usually you back me up, so that makes you good in my book.
Shit. Oh boy, let me lock my door real quick so I need to make sure Stalin doesn't get in here real quick. Shit, I forgot locked the studio doesn't work.
He's a sneaky motherfucker, that Stalin.
It's okay though.
He's up there somewhere. There he is.
Yep.
There he is.
There he is. You can't mistake that stash.
Yeah. So one of the jokes I throw around a lot of times is just like, yeah, like I'm a Russian whose family comes from Donetsk. Therefore, that makes me an enemy to the world. Like that makes me an enemy to almost the entire fucking world. So
I'm with you.
Yeah, it was so funny because like my ex was like super on like the Ukrainian bandwagon and all that. God, it feels so good to be able to call that person my ex. But basically on my ex, I'm always super on like to the Slava Ukraini or however the fuck they say it on my bandwagon. And I'm just like sitting over here, just like, yeah, I'm just like gonna call myself Ukrainian around this motherfucker because like that's gonna make it a lot easier and a lot less contentious. Because like being a Russian, an ethnic Russian, I should say, from the region of the world where like the war is actually being fought right now. Yeah, that's like it's one of those things where like in polite conversation I kind of have to compromise a little bit, especially if I want free alcohol.
No, I get it. That's why I say I'm Canadian when I travel.
That's fair.
I mean, yeah, that checks out.
I mean, I do what I gotta do.
No. It's Canada.
No. Yeah. It's like, what are you, Russian? Yeah, I mean, no, definitely not. Okay, well, say something to me, and you say something to me in Ukrainian. Dobisa. Oh yeah, what does that mean? I'm telling you to go to hell.
I got one thing. Leave it at that.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, it's kind of funny because I remember like I was at the dog park a couple months ago, and I'm speaking in Russian on the phone. It was like very broken because basically I was like talking shit, like jokingly speaking in Russian because my Russian is awful. But basically this guy walked into the dog park, like a very clear like off-duty cop, and I'm like, fuck, here we go, right? And he's like, oh, is that Ukrainian? And I'm just like, talk. Yes, it is. Oh well, then I was like, yeah, I'm just like not even gonna fucking entertain this. We left like 5 minutes after that because it was a very awkward situation. But
Yeah.
yeah, which I have to be honest, as a leftist, it's very weird supporting Putin right now, or like supporting Putin's mission right now, just because of the matter of who Putin is and all that. I think I mentioned that the other day in the group chat of how it's like yes, his goals, like the goal of like ousting the Nazis in Ukraine is a good thing. However, Putin is not a good dude.
Right.
And I think that that's a very fair distinction to make.
Yeah, I don't think anybody in the group is
oh yeah, definitely not. The only shows like
as strongly and vehemently opposed to Putin as I am, and that always garners a lot of like everybody's like, oh, is he real? He's a Fed because he doesn't like Putin. I'm like, listen, I love the Russian people, and I am a staunch socialist, and but I am not. But I've seen the damage that Putin has done. I've been there, and he is just a horrible human being.
Yeah, and like that's like I've never been there for the record. And frankly, I don't feel safe going there until after he's dead. Not because of me being Brittany Griner. I'm worried about being a trans lesbian going over to Russia, right?
Right.
With Putin's Russia, I should clarify. But like in addition to that, though, just like some of the interactions that I've had, not recently, but like about 8 or so years ago with people in Russia, and like just like seeing how much of a cult of personality there was, I'm like, Putin is in it for himself. And the one time I remember seeing like an American fictional television show, I forget which series it was. I can't remember. No, I think it was actually House of Cards. The guy who they had is like being like, their version of Putin, right? It was over the discussion about the American who was being detained due to like basically supporting gay rights in Russia, right? And the House of Cards president said, oh, personally, I don't care. And I'm like, that's exactly the issue. You're not being principled, which for the record, Russia's anti-gay laws are fucking terrible. I just want to make that abundantly clear. I'm just using this as an example for how selfish Putin is. Because like, personally, I do not care. And I'm like, that's kind of the issue though, too. Like you're harming a lot of people just to maintain your own personal levels of power.
Right.
Not to mention how much he's enriched himself.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Scott said it really well in the group chat the other day. I think he, how did you word it? Like, even though you have a lot to say about Stalin because you're a trot, like nobody can really like try to argue that Stalin wasn't trying to build a better Russia, whereas Putin is trying to build a better Putin.
Yeah, and what really scared me about Trump. So when I was over in Russia, you could see the cult of personality that Talia was just talking about. Everywhere you go, there's Putin merchandise on every street corner. Everybody's peddling. I have Russian nesting dolls with Putin, and then all of the various Russian predecessors. In the nesting doll, which I love, and I keep in my cabinet here. Oh, I should bring it over here and show it to you guys. But like when all of this garbage that they were selling with Putin's image on it, to come home and then years later have Donald Trump and see all of these stores prop up with just stores filled with shit with Trump on it, was terrifying. It really felt like that same level of cult of personality.
Yeah, exactly. And I remember very clearly. I used to write under a pen name for a website called Southfront. It used to be southfront.info. Now it's southfront.org. I quit writing for them, I think in 2015. I quit really communicating in either late 2016 or early 2017. And I remember back when, in the lead up to Trump announcing his campaign, they were all like, oh, Trump will be America's Putin. As like this great thing because, he's going to be a great ally to Russia, the Donetsk People's Republic. He's going to be a great ally to Russia and DPR and LPR. And basically, like, he was going to make America more Russian, essentially, is the best way to phrase it. And looking back now with all the stuff that has happened and like really having like the veil of what I thought Putin was. Because like back when I was in high school, I thought Putin was a good dude, right? I also was dealing with a lot of internalized homophobia at the time, but at the end of the day, I thought Putin was what a model world leader should be. You know, strong man, very just like nationalist, all this other cancerous bullshit, right? And looking back, it is really shocking to see how talking points that were being discussed or even published on that website have slowly filtered their way into mainstream American media. And I'm not saying it's from the website. I'm just saying like of how far down the right-wing rabbit hole we've come. And dare I say, like that was actually one of those single things that made me go from being more of a moderate, so to speak, to actually shifting over to the left and be more active because of the simple fact that, yeah, we're going down that path, and I don't want that for everyone. I don't want that for anyone, to be honest with you, because no citizen should ever be afraid of criticizing a right-wing despot for a YouTube channel
or any government official at all ever.
Yeah.
It's
except Stalin. Remember,
this is so cliche to say, but the government should be afraid of its people, and I completely agree with that horribly cliche statement. But
there's multiple videos online.
What was that?
I said there's multiple videos online. That's exactly what they fear. That's what unity does. That's why I've been bottlenecked.
Yeah.
All I do is unite people all over the world.
I respect
9
that.
countries so far.
I mean, that's what we need to be doing.
Absolutely.
So why are you guys allowing my ball of chaos, my chaotic ass, or I'm sorry, my chaotic ass here again?
We love having you. You're good. That's a new word, though, by the way. Anybody that hears that, we're going to make that happen.
I claim it. I can claim it now. So the question, though, is how do we spell that? Do we spell it a GHAOS or do we spell it like GAYOS?
Wow.
That's up to you. In the eye of the beholder, you're Mozart on this one. You know what I'm saying?
True. Let's see. Word of the day. I have decided for a GAYOS.
Corbin said in the comments, I don't take it upon myself to defend Stalin, not because I believe the capitalist narrative at all, but because I'm not informed enough on the subject, nor do I think most are or even could be, and because it's not necessary to defend Stalin in order to support the teachings of communism. I just want to elaborate on that a little bit. Stalin wrote a lot of good material himself that was a lot more accessible than, say, Marx or Lenin. And I mean, that's kind of why I do usually take the line of defending Stalin, unless it's, something that's indefensible, of course. But yeah, I mean, I just wanted to put that little bit in there.
That's a good thing to add.
To go back to something that was said there. I'm sorry, who was it that said that?
Corbin.
Listen, he makes a very good point with the fact that, like, listen, we don't know enough. We can't know enough, right? So we don't know what's true and what's been lost to history. There's, what's propaganda, what's not. We can't really dig through that. We don't, and you're right, Corbin. We don't need to, in order to preach the gospel of communism or humanitarianism in the grander sense. The
gospel of communism.
Yeah. Well,
it's the rabbit hole effect.
Like, Ken Ma's perspective on it. This is a loose quotation, not verbatim, but he said that Stalin made mistakes that he did not realize at the time were mistakes. His intentions were corrective, like trying to actually improve things for the Russian people. But that doesn't mean that he was free of errors. None of us are.
Right. And he's a trailblazer. And the funny thing was I made the comment to, in the chat about, how I was gonna be a Trotskyite and do the late night show, and the typical Trotskyite by taking the pop shots from the cheap seats.
I'm right there with you. The popcorn costs too much. The beer costs too much. We're having a good time and a bad time in a wallet. It's a thing.
Thank you, sir. See, William knows. So, but the joke is, that Trotsky was critical of everything that Stalin did. But let's be fair. If it was Trotsky instead of Stalin, he'd probably be making the same mistakes, right?
If not even worse, because basically the one thing to remember too, where did I get a thing for Yahoo search popping up? That's weird. I'm actually gonna have to do a scan on my computer, I think. But so basically, the other thing to remember too is that with Stalin, at least, communism did ultimately survive. Because I wish I could remember where I read or heard this analysis, but basically, the theory or the line of thought was that if Trotsky would have come out on top and had been in power, basically, the Allies probably would have sided with Hitler against the Soviet Union instead of siding with the Soviet Union against Hitler. And that was like the one, and I think the argument there, now it was from a Western source, I will add, and I don't necessarily say that I buy it, just something I want to throw out there to be clear. It's just like one of those things where it's just like, okay, I understand like the line of thought. I don't necessarily agree with it because I don't think the West would have considered, and I don't know if Trotsky would have been able to have really like unified the West as much as this historian was assuming.
Well, Nazi Germany was not a minor issue between Trotsky and Stalin. It was the issue between Trotsky and Stalin. It was the initial issue between the two of them, was because Trotsky felt like they should keep the communist ball rolling, and the only logical and best place to do that next was in Germany. And he felt that they needed to empower the communists there to resist the powers of fascism. And Stalin didn't agree with that. Stalin felt like, well, we need to focus on home first. Let's show the world this can be done before we start pushing it everywhere else. And you can make the case for either direction. And I'm not going to make it tonight. I'm not going to have that fight, but we can talk logically about the differences between those opinions. Now, then he gets exiled for those feelings, for those expressing those desires to help Germany. He gets exiled. Now, his worst criticisms don't come until Stalin signs the non-aggression pact with Hitler. Then once that non-aggression pact is signed, Trotsky, as a Jew, really starts feeling like he's been betrayed, and really writes his worst criticisms of Stalin and the Soviet Union at the time. We forget that. We forget that his biggest criticisms, his harshest criticisms, come after that non-aggression pact. And so I get that. It's allowing fascism to grow. And I identify with that. Silence from the Chankies. Unbelievable. Not a single one of you is burying an ice axe into my head.
The one thing that I do want to note, though, is that I was talking specifically about World War II, not about like the lead up to it. Just wanted to clarify that. Sorry, my brain is like totally fried. I've not had any coffee in like 8 hours. So.
Wow, 8 whole hours.
Yeah, it's been a while. I definitely fall victim to the capitalist addiction to caffeine.
I can't talk any shit on that.
Oh, I mean, you can talk shit. It just makes you a hypocrite.
Okay. I usually try to not be hypocritical.
Yeah, I try as well. But let's be honest, though, sometimes it's more fun to be a hypocrite.
Opinions and hypocrite. Well, being a hypocrite.
There is a line, even if it's, no matter how big or small it is, there's still a line.
Quick side note: I should not have refreshed my Facebook feed.
What'd you do?
I don't think I can describe what I'm currently seeing on my. Okay, that's getting reported. Never mind. At first, it was funny. It was like basically a dildo made out of corn or butt plug made out of a corn, and then like it went somewhere else. So yeah, it was.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's the only thing that makes the Midwest interesting.
It really is. The Midwest is interesting because of corn, the occasional wheat field, and more corn.
There you go.
I say that as someone who grew up in the Midwest, for the record.
And it sounds like there's corn porn. So there's
there's also corn, which is actually a very rare type of corn. That's that's kind of corn that we can actually eat.
That's a lot of chaos happening right there.
It is. You're very welcome.
Coin that term.
Rob Rich said Jello.
Jello. I noticed, Rob, on the conversation that you were entangled in yesterday, there was no response after my post.
No.
I'm very upset about that. I was hoping Consuela would lock horns with me. Didn't happen.
No. Well, and I mean, like, that whole thing, like, oh, you're just trying to argue, because I pointed out that the definition of fascism that she was using was not anything that I would consider an accurate definition of fascism. Whereas Rob Rich put it later in the night in the chat, he was like, wow, they dodged the word capitalism so fucking hard.
Oh, yes. Or corporatism, even.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I do love Caitlin's response to it, though, which was fantastic. So they go on in this typical,
Internet debate.
The internet debate fashion, and just, like, well, I'm gonna just blast you for no reason. And Caitlin's like, okay, that's cool, but anyway. So I'm like, all right, well said.
Okay. So I just now read, because like I'm like terrible keeping up with group chats. I just now read the screenshot, and how is that like exactly what you guys just said?
Yeah.
How is that a good definition?
It's not, but I go on
like,
to I defined it more thoroughly.
Yeah, like.
But I liken
Wow.
it to everybody who makes a claim that, well, the Nazis were socialists. It's my favorite comment, because anybody who's taken like a 7th grade social studies class knows that they were fascists. But for some reason, they went on the internet and they read or watched some YouTube video with some moron who said, well, the Nazis were actually socialists. And they've ignored all of history and the fact that Hitler basically usurped the entire socialist movement, got rid of every socialist bit of their platform, including initially they were supposed to be giving up all of the monetary gain over to the government, that the munitions factories and all that would have to surrender all their money. Well, one of the biggest supporters of the Nazi Party was munitions factories. Were the munitions dynasties. Van Krupp or something like that. I can't remember her name off the top of my head because I suck at that. But she gave huge swaths of money to the party, to the Nazi Party, and told them they can't keep that in their platform. Also, all of the junkers were supposed to be handed over to the state and given to the people. That part of their platform was abandoned. There was nothing socialist about about the Nazis at all by the time that Hitler rose to power. Nothing at all. And this is that same argument in a different vein that all communists are fascists, which is just stupid. And it subscribes to a horrible, bad political ideal, which is concept, which is called the horseshoe theory. Has everybody heard of horseshoe theory? The further left you go and the further right you go, the closer you are together. And that's just, it doesn't jive, right? Because a horseshoe's not a fucking circle.
That's true.
So I don't know.
The delivery on that was so on point.
I'm occasionally good with that.
Yeah, because like here I am like expecting like a full on, political explanation. And it's not a fucking circle.
I mean, I can do the full on political analysis of that, but I feel like we all have the same understanding. I don't need to do that.
So Rob said, I've lost my energy to argue against some of these 1950s Red Scare talking points.
Right.
Me too, honestly, but like if somebody's trying to have a conversation in good faith, I'll still try. But as soon as they're like citing horseshoe theory, dude, nope, I'm done. I'm fucking done.
Yeah. That's I get the that people are out of the energy and it's hard. I posted a meme in group chat the other day, which was something to the effect of that. Do you remember back when we thought that a lack of information was the reason why people were so dumb? Come find out that's not the case.
Yeah.
Turns out with the advent of the internet, all that's been debunked, and people are just idiots.
Unfortunately, I will add too, because like it really does suck. And for me to actually make a somewhat serious comment, that's like one of the most discouraging things for me to see is presenting a basic fact to someone, like objectively true, right? Objectively true. And then just being like, so, or in reality being like, but my preacher said that. I'm like, no, I don't give a fuck what your preacher said. Your preacher lied to you. And that's just like one of my more anti-theistic examples I can come up with right now. But seeing people just like blatantly ignore objectively verifiable facts, like climate change, for example.
Oh my God, yeah.
It's really disheartening for me. Because like we can agree or like we can debate how to solve the issue, but we cannot but we can't just debate the existence of it because it is so clearly fucking true.
Yeah, I think you're right on. Right on. We need to talk about, listen, stop debating the facts and ignoring the problem. And let's just talk about the differences in ways that we can resolve it.
I don't know if it's copyrighted, but... Oh, go ahead, William?
I was saying, there's I go by Will, 2-ton, lyrics too heavy to hold. I speak the truth a lot. But for fixing the problem, as we were speaking about earlier, it's very simple. Unity. We take the best ideas and implement them everywhere. That's the most logical, safe, fastest, because the only way to understand creation is to understand that a genius could be anywhere.
Yes.
And they're too busy trying to pull these brilliant minds and certain things together to build these things instead of realizing there's people in the jungle that made electricity out of 2 coconuts. I'm not trying to sound crazy, but there's men that have brought electricity to an entire village, water to an entire village with very simple tools, So there's a lot of logic in how to fix a problem, and the main thing is unity. If we were able to accept another man's opinion, it would solve a lot of problems. Some people know how to fix cars better than other cars. It doesn't make either one of them a bad mechanic. Just somebody's done it more times. You know what I mean? somebody's had to do it with less. You know what I mean? So it's in the end, I mean, there's a machine in Flint, Michigan, bringing them water out of the air. I watched a video on that the other day. It's absolutely wild. And if those machines are implemented everywhere, I mean, what drought? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, something scary about what you just said is like, like how many Einsteins have we missed because they didn't have access to textbooks or drinking
because they didn't have it.
Yeah, because I'm just going to use. I'm sorry.
Oh, go ahead, brother.
Oh, I'm a girl. But I'm basically yeah, I'm just gonna give you some family history that I have. Is like my great aunt, she ended up going through school and all that in order, and she ended up becoming a teacher and then a principal later on. And the only reason she was able to do that is because my other great aunt, she worked in basically a seamstress shop, and that aunt was extremely intelligent as well, but she had to sacrifice so that way her little sister could be able to go through school. And what if both of them had been able to both gone through school?
Yeah.
And that's like that's the main example. And honestly, my aunt who sacrificed, and it's oddly poetic, but she never really received as much credit as she should have for what she did. There's a fairly infamous family history moment where there was when one of my cousins graduated from college, and my aunt who graduated, she was saying, "Oh yeah, look at what all I was able to do." And my other aunt, and I'm just so many names here for obvious reasons, but my other aunt, she just like looked down and was just like, "What about me?" That was basically like what the reaction was. Yeah, and it's one of those situations where I don't think I have to elaborate on it. I think you know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. So like about the whole climate change
That's
discussion, right? So there was a video that that Bill Nye put out a couple of years ago, right? And basically at the end of it, he was like, like there are several things that we could do to fix this. Are any of them free? No, nothing's free. But and then he goes on like this rant where he's just like, the planet's on fucking fire. Like, we can put it out. We can put it out. I didn't have a problem teaching you about photosynthesis when you were 12 years old, but it's time to grow the fuck up. Like,
yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
That was like one of the best videos I've ever seen on the internet, for the record. Like, that was absolutely beautiful when he did that.
Yeah.
And it's real irony, and it speaks to the politicization. Yep. Making science political. It speaks to that, to the fact that, listen, everybody thought Bill Nye walked on water. Left, right, center didn't matter. They thought this guy was a genius. He was teaching kids about science. What a great guy he was. And then all of a sudden he started to talk about things that were actually impacting people, like the fact that there's more than two genders, and the fact that there's, a real climate issue. Now, these are facts, and these are scientific facts that people just decided to make political. And now all of a sudden his name is mud.
Yeah, and it's really heartbreaking to see that, because it's like, yeah, if I were to move back to the town that I grew up in because of one of those issues that you mentioned, like, gender rights, and I came in here talking about trans healthcare, and the fact that if I were to move back to my hometown, I don't know if in 3 years that me having gender affirming care is even going to be legal. And the fact that the fact that that is a political issue, and they're using the justification of brain development, or that person could still be on their parents' insurance, so therefore they're still a child. I'm like, I had bottom surgery when I was, I would have been, I'm 23 years old. Am I a fucking child at that point? because you've allowed me to take on tens of thousands of dollars in student debt.
Right.
You've allowed me to take on a massive a car loan. You've allowed me to do all this other shit, but you're still going to call me a child. And it's clear that this is a slippery slope. And I hate using that argument because we all know how problematic that is. But I mean, ultimately, it's like, what's going to be coming next? It's either going to be a total ban on gender affirming care for all people, regardless of age, or, and this is what I actually really suspect is going to happen, they're going to start passing laws that are gun control laws that target trans people. And then they're going to pass them to target gay people, because all that they're going to do is they're just going to basically take of how gender dysphoria is classified as a mental illness, or how homosexuality used to be classified as a mental illness. And they're going to be like, yeah, we don't want mentally ill people owning guns.
Yeah.
When in reality, the LGBTQ community are the ones that need to be fucking arming themselves at this point in time.
Yeah. I mean, like, I'm not going to say that I'm armed right now. If someone were to break in, that I would be able to, fight back. But, you can elaborate from that.
Right.
And it's sad that I feel that need. But at the end of the day, I may live in a state that is getting more liberal over time. But the fact of the matter is that if I go out to the phone store, like I did the other day, I could have a dude open carry and wearing a "fuck Joe Biden" a t-shirt behind me with a picture of Donald Trump on it. Am I going to feel safe in that room with that guy there? Absolutely fucking not.
Yeah. Yeah, that's terrifying.
Yeah, it was, because I actually, I texted someone and I was like, well, I know I'm in public. That doesn't mean anything. But at the end of the day, I just made sure that I always had an eye on him. Which, yeah, people are... It's amazing of what right-wing propaganda has been able to accomplish in all the worst ways possible.
I don't understand why we can't just care for other people, is my concern. We have to, for some odd reason, when you talk about taking healthcare away from trans folks, why on earth are we doing that? These are people. We forget that these are people that we're talking about.
Because basically, and for the record, like you. Well, that's part of it. But and this is going to be from my experience as a sex worker. I've been in the industry now for coming up on 6.5 years, right? Since I was 18, I've been in it. And how the people on the right view girls like me is we're objects and we're fetishes. That's all that we are. And whenever you're able to reduce someone of a certain group to that level, the ones who in your real life, they're fine, but they're the exceptions, not the rule.
Right.
But in general, though, it's well, would I rather her be okay and everyone else also have the same rights as her, or would I rather have her suffer in order to make all these other people who are the rule suffer as well? And it's going to be the latter, because if I'm just something for you to be able to fetishize, it's a lot easier to pay me and just forget that I'm a human. Right. And for the record, that's not me dehumanizing sex workers as me saying of how trans people are viewed by people who hire girls in the industry, such as myself.
I think it was understood that way.
Yeah, I just wanted to make it abundantly clear. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
I think I think it is unfortunate because people. And this is a predominantly an issue among sex workers for sure, is that because it's paid for, you're a commodity, right? Yeah. And that way they can dehumanize the entire process.
Yeah, and also, and one other thing too is that, if I'm being paid to do a scene or something, well, I can't say this anymore because surgeries have happened. But 2 years ago, if I were being paid to do a scene that involved me doing something that I would not enjoy doing in my personal life, people still see that, right? Because if you were to look up certain types of adult films and all that, you would see trans women acting in a very particular manner. While in reality, I know some of those actors, and in their personal lives, they're not at all like that. It's just a matter of that's how we're able to make our bag, and that's that. And you don't see the human side of it. I remember one very specific occasion. This would have been back in, was it 2018 or 2019? Where basically I finished working one night, and I went home and I was just okay, I need to de-stress, and I just went through way too much alcohol that night. I don't remember how much. All I know is it was way too much. And people don't see that. People don't care about that because at the end of the day, it's only what you see. You don't care about how the sausage is made.
Right. What was
Exactly.
that? What was that movie? Was it Sorry to Bother You? Where
Yes, I do remember that movie.
yes. So to your point, where these actors and actresses, ironically, they're actors and actresses in pornographic films, right?
Mhm.
So they are supposed to be playing a part, but we all play a part. I go to work, I don't act like how I do at home. That's fucked up. Why would I do that? But the point about this movie is that you see Danny Glover, who plays this character who is like who does telesales, and he's teaching this young man who just got into the business about how to get more sales, and the whole concept of it was you got to sound more white, so you have to sound more white in order to make the sales. And they go through the motions and he becomes more successful because he's pretending to or sounding more white, and
I think maybe the point might have, oh, go ahead.
No, please go right ahead.
I was thinking the point might have gone askew. I think they meant to go educated, but went more on the comedy side of it. Because I think speaking with an educated vernacular isn't specific to any one race or group. I think that's just a choice, to be honest with you, because I do a lot of voice acting and voiceovers, and
Sure.
I've got to fit the bid. And it's in the entertainment industry. It's been heavy for the last few years, and I've learned that it's almost like you have a role to play.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's that you have a interesting. That movie probably spoke to you in some way because you're a
Absolutely.
voice actor. You know what I mean? So,
Yes, absolutely. And I looked at it from also the perspective of black men. I mean, I don't want to bring that into the conversation, but I looked at it as I felt they were trying a little bit too hard to make that distinction. It was funny, don't get me wrong, but with all the turmoil in the world, we could use the comedy more than anything. I think they should have focused more on that when they made that picture.
Agreed.
Because to speak educated, I mean, I've opened doors basically off of getting into those rooms, graduating, taking classes, taking courses, being present at events, you know what I mean, and actually applying myself. So, and when I sat in those classes, it was just as diverse as walking through Walmart, and there's some characters in there. I'm one of them.
Yeah, I usually look like a peacock, so it's you can ask.
I do my best to.
You do rock some snazzy.
Go
ahead. No, you have the floor, my friend.
I do my best to hide in the cereal, I mean, cereal, potato chip aisle, try to blend into one of the racks, that's how it goes. But as far as the movie's concerned, I don't think it served really any political purpose. I don't think it served an educational purpose as much as it did the comedy side.
Yes.
But I think the point was meant by those that were perceptive enough to catch the cue.
Yeah, I mean, my point was that it was more to the idea that everybody's kind of playing a role when they go to work, and
oh yeah,
it's no different for, say, a sex worker, or specifically a trans sex worker, than it is, myself, or this, young man trying to make sales on a telephone call. You know what I mean? Everybody plays that role.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Waiting for that next cigarette break, 5 minutes of oxygen, watch the cars drive by.
Yeah.
Except Rob, he doesn't give a fuck. He's got his sugar mama. He doesn't have to worry.
Oh, that's funny. I do tend to dilute myself a little bit, I guess, at work, but at the same time, I don't just exactly bow down either.
Yeah. And like one other thing too, I just want to add to the conversation real quick. So, like I recently retired from dancing because like my last experience at a club was not great. Basically I was fired for being trans, word for word. I have it in writing. Fun fact. But basically customers were complaining about there being a trans dancer on the floor. And I heard a couple of different things. One was that they were threatening not to come back for business. Others was that they were basically making like threats or something like that. And so basically like that happened, and that just kind of like made me think, I'm like, so like the voice I'm speaking on right now is like deeper than like my in-person voice, because like on cam, the deeper my voice is, like the better, ironically, the more money I make. Is kind of fucked up, but that's a thing I'm not going to get into right now. But like, whenever I'm like actually like practicing my voice and all that, like in real life, it's more feminine, it's more high pitched. It's a little bit fried right now, if I'm being honest with you. But like if I'm focusing on the voice, like I do, especially in the club with a bit of an accent to it, like, kind of deflect from that, especially with customers. Like it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, I'm like faking an accent, right? And I don't know. I was going somewhere with that, and like now my brain is just like totally fucking tanked on me. But yeah, probably because I'm gonna be honest with you, I still kind of miss my old job if I'm getting 100%. But
with the
it is what it is. Yeah, with dancing. Because like I know I could probably get hired at other clubs, but basically how the climate is right now, I know I'm a lot safer just simply working from home online. So it's just like, because the other thing too is like I don't want to put others in danger. And that's another big thing for me too, is like, yeah, personally I may want to be able to do something, but at the same time though too, like if I'm putting other dancers in danger just by simply being there and working, that's an issue.
Boy, that's a terrifying thought.
And
Right.
It's
a very real one though.
No, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I completely, I wouldn't diminish that at all. I think you're exactly right, and that's the scary part. If I thought you were making it up, wouldn't be scary at all. That's the
Yeah,
real
ain't that the
tragedy of
truth? Yeah, but I still remember like when I heard that, or when I was given that reason, I was like, well, the thing of customers not wanting to come back, that makes sense. But the issue of threats, though, I was like, that takes it to a whole other level for me. Takes it to a whole other level.
No, I'm sorry that happened to you, honestly.
It's okay. I can't really say any, I probably said too much. My lawyers would probably not be very happy with me, but it needed to be said. So
Yeah, because that's the sad part, is you're not alone. You can't possibly be alone.
well, and the other thing too is like it's so
No.
very difficult for a trans girl to even be hired in a club, right? So before I got hired at my first club, I believe the number that I tried at 20 or so different clubs across 3 different states before I could even get hired at one. And I lasted for a few weeks there before I had a run-in with another dancer who basically she brought in a taser to assault me with because she didn't like who I am.
What the fuck?
Wasn't a personal issue, but I asked her to stop laughing at my stages, and then that happened the next weekend.
Was it J.K. Rowling? Was she?
I'm pretty sure this was actually big. I'm a J.K. Rowling fan, but that's neither here nor there. But yeah, like after that though, like after I left that club, I had basically been promised a job by another club. And like they're like, hey, like it's full new club. Like once you're post op, like we'll hire you. And then push comes to shove, when I go in there asking for a job, they're like, we're not going to hire you. Sorry. And
Wow.
it was and so that was another issue that really bugged me a lot. But it also goes to show just like how fucking shitty like the club owners can be. Not all, for the record, I have some very good relationships with some club owners, but I also remember how awful some of them can be as well. And it's hard, and it really sucks to have to like, I guess like the proper word is figure out who is who and figure out who the ones are who like are actually supportive and all that. Because I can usually tell if someone is like, oh, hey, yeah, I'm not gonna be able to hire you for a dancing job. How would you like a DJ or how would you like a DJ or like an office job instead? Like that's a good way to settle that, right? Like I would rather be on stage, but if you're still offering to hire me in a way that is going to be keeping me safe, like that's a lot less shitty of a way to handle things than it is to just say, yeah, go fuck yourself.
Yeah, let's keep you safe.
Yeah, or even better, my personal favorite was when I walked into a club asking for a manager, and the manager on duty, because like they have wear like a very specific shirt, because it's like a cowboy theme bar or cowboy theme club. He was wearing a very specific shirt that I knew was for the manager, and he was like, "Yeah, sorry, we don't have any managers working today."
Oh,
Wow.
no.
And I was like, "Oh, okay, so you're still gonna have me fill out the application, or still gonna have me fill out the form, while also lying to me." Yeah, it was a fun time. I got many good laughs out of that as a result.
Out of this horrible experience, the only way really to step forward, is there any advice you might have to young trans sex workers that might help them navigate through that kind of stuff?
So the number one thing that I can say is make sure that your work persona is very developed. Because like my regular name is very different from Svetlana, which is like my stripper name, who is very different than the name that I use in the other in-person work that I did. You have to make sure that you have your work personas very well developed so you can compartmentalize. Second, and this is by far the most important, be very careful who you work with, number one, and number two, never accept any substance of any kind without knowing the source. Yeah, because there are a couple people who I know who ended up basically spiraling out of control because they were given a substance by someone. It wasn't what they said it was. Yeah, so that's one issue. But then the most important issue too is always reach out online. Twitter is actually a very surprisingly good way to find other sex workers. Obviously, like, Backpage has been shut down. It's like the blacklists aren't a thing. They're still out there. I've been out of that part though for quite some time, so I don't exactly know how to access that, but I can find out. But yeah, like really the main thing is like common sense stuff, and most importantly, always use protection. And if a client isn't willing to do that, don't work with them. I don't care how much they're offering to pay you. It's not worth throwing away an entire career for one night where frankly you might get paid with fake money.
Wow.
Yeah. And also make sure you have a friend who is always, when I say friend, I basically mean like a security guard or some sort who you can always trust in case if something does go bad, because things will go bad. You can be safe, but at the end of the day, especially if you do it consistently, over time things will go bad.
I would recommend everyone take a look at a TED Talk by Juno Mack, which I'm sure Talia is familiar with. Juno Mack did a whole TED Talk on sex worker rights, and it is I'll link it in the For We Are Many group, education group, because it's fantastic. It goes through why it should be not just legalized, but completely decriminalized.
And also, I just want to point out the difference between decriminalized and legalized real quick, because that is one thing that in my work, people tend to get confused a lot. Legalized basically means it happens, but it's government regulated. So like registries, licenses, shit like that.
Right.
Decriminalized basically means that the workers can choose for themselves what they want to do. And most importantly, you're not on the registry. Me personally, I've been too open about the shit that I've done, if I'm being honest with you. So like the odds of me actually being able to finish law school and pass the ethics portion of the bar are pretty much slim to none, and Slim just took a walk. Wow. And it wasn't a matter of me like wanting to get into the industry. Like I chose it. Yes, I wasn't forced into it. I wasn't trafficked, nothing like that. But at the end of the day, I had to be able to pay for shit. And it's like, would I rather have gone back and not had to have gotten into the industry if shit would have been covered? Absolutely. Don't get me wrong. But here I am. And unfortunately, we're in a situation where people may end up having to resort to it as a job, which for the record, it is definitely work, right? Yeah. I'm pretty sure we're all in agreement with that. 100%. But at the end of the day, it's very rarely someone's first choice for a job. And we need to make sure that everyone is kept as safe as possible, while also pushing for it to be legalized and decriminalized, while also pushing for other social safety nets that will prevent people from feeling like they need to get into it. Because frankly, no one should ever feel pressure to get into this industry, right? Because that's how a lot of bad shit can really happen. And I'm not gonna lie, I got really lucky with my experience. And I know a lot of others who obviously didn't come out on the other side as well as I did.
I don't want to ever hear anybody tell me that selling your body isn't right if they're going to allow us to have coal miners.
Exactly.
Right. Well, and
Exactly.
if we really break it down, aren't we all selling our bodies? Like at the end of the day, if you're doing any sort of manual labor, I mean, like for example, I work in a kitchen.
Try, Rob, but nobody wants my body.
Oh my God. At the end of the day, I work in a kitchen. I'm on my feet all day, right? I'm hunched over a cutting board often, right? So I end up with back problems, right? And that's just one example, not to mention, I mean, shit, look at my hands. You see the burns and the cuts? Like, I mean, you know, we're all selling our bodies to an extent. So why does society tend to view sex work as something different? Like Big Bill Haywood said, I may not have read Marx's Capital, but I have the marks of capitalism all over my body.
There you go. For me, of course, it all funnels back to evangelical, and I hate saying this because I'm a Christian, and it all funnels back to evangelical Christian bullshit. We forget that this is only a recent thing. Sex work was legal for the majority of this country's existence.
Yeah, true story.
It's only just recently that we've started to harken back to our Puritan principles, and I just think that's
It's terrifying.
Backward for everyone.
Yeah, it really is, because the other thing too that people tend to forget about, and also for some reason, somehow my camera ended up showing only like a very dark black and white. So I literally look like a demon right now. So I'm trying to get that fixed. Actually, fuck, but yeah, like this is like exactly, wait, is it? Now saying that my video isn't even available, what the hell? Okay, it's because I'm in here. But anyway, so basically, but yeah, it's like going backwards is one of the most dangerous things we can possibly do. And I'm partially hoping that this is just like the last gasp of the old ways that like basically have existed. At the end of the day, they have existed, but we're trying to like it's just like the last gasp before they're gone forever, is the best way I can phrase what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I hope that is the case as well. Just to catch up a little bit on the comment section, Corbin put the link to that TED Talk.
Oh, perfect. Perfect.
And well, there was a whole conversation that was going on while Talia was talking. But before I get to that, I want to rewind just a little bit before that. Corbin said, and then when you talk about them, people will say, there he goes talking about politics again. Fuck that. I'm talking about people's lives. I'm talking about the only shit that matters. And
preach.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. Preach.
Yeah.
I feel that. He also said, and I apologize if I'm misgendering you. You ever need help, reach out. The mental health propaganda demonizes the trans community. And then in regards to sex work, Natalie said, hey, it's the oldest profession in the world, and it's time for acceptance.
Yep. Or to return to acceptance.
Oh, and we have 2 Natalies in the comments today, by the way.
Oh, right on.
Yeah. The other Natalie, I just lost the comment where to go. Oh, yeah. The other Natalie said, that's lame and wrong. Shame on those club owners.
Yep.
And also said, thank you for sharing your experiences. You deserve the best.
Thank you, Natalie. I appreciate that.
And she also said, my boyfriend Dante and I are both listening and appreciating learning and hearing about this. Learning from
I do have a lot more to say on this, except unfortunately I'm trying to make sure that I don't overdo overstay my welcome, to say the least.
Well, I'm
Or,
going to return.
I don't know.
short-
That was the wrong way to phrase it, but I'm dealing with some like pop-ups right now, so I'm trying to figure out like where those are coming from. But yeah, I'll figure it out later.
Trisha, are you still there?
Appears to have gone AFK for a bit.
I think we lost one.
I didn't see that was still muted.
Oh, I was just thinking like, wow, I don't think I've ever heard you be this quiet during the show.
I was just been listening to the conversation and the sharing of some knowledge and enlightenment going on here. It's good.
It is good. Yeah, it's been a long time since we've had, in my opinion, a this good of a conversation on a show.
Getting deep.
Oh man. So yeah. I don't know. I didn't mean to derail. I just wanted to, like shout out some of the comments because
No, yeah, I appreciate those.
We've kind of been ignoring them tonight, and it, not
I mean, it's okay.
intentionally.
Like, I mean, I'm really good at helping people ignore things. So, like, if that wasn't happening, I would have been very disappointed with myself. Okay, there we go.
Fair enough.
Yeah, so I pulled a boomer when I was downloading. I accidentally clicked the wrong link to download this, or well, I didn't double check the URL when I clicked download Zoom. So yeah, I apparently got some adware on my computer, but it's all good. It was filtered out by my AV, so I still feel like
That's
a boomer though. Yeah.
Okay.
I
I'd like to
will
start a
welcome.
conversation.
I will welcome the roast for the record. It's like there are some jokes that I couldn't make, except they would be very much 18 plus. So I'm just gonna I don't know. Let's see. I guess it is 10 minutes away from the 2-year anniversary in the Midwest of this. Well, wait, did this start on the 6th or did it start on the 7th?
The 6th, yeah.
The 6th. Okay, fuck it. So yeah, I'm just gonna do like one more shot because I feel like it. And I'm probably gonna have to hop off here and actually get to work because no more sugar daddies. So because we actually have to work again.
Fair enough.
For the record, that was a joke. I didn't get enough money for doing sugar daddy. So
Corbin said, has anyone mentioned how beautiful her hair is yet? I would assume that comment is in reference to you.
Yeah, so this is actually over 2 months old.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so basically, shout out to a Cara Color for their conditioner, keeping it nice and bright. I haven't been taking very good care of it lately, but yeah, I'm due to get it redone here in a second. I just need to get a message from my stylist letting me know that she has an opening for me. And Nostradovia to me getting my hair done.
Danelle
I
said,
dropped my Cash App.
oh my God. Danelle said, I appreciate hearing your story, and then said, in response to Corbin's comment, I've been staring at it this whole time and wondering if I could get away with it.
So all I'm gonna say is that there is a trick that I have for that, and I would not recommend that anyone do it. But the trick is just like get blackmail on your boss. You can get away with a lot of shit in that case. And if you need help doing that, I got you. For legal reasons, that was a joke.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Okay. So on the topic of change, on the topic of global warming, to take that back to where we were earlier, actively, where are we all at in that mission? What types of things are we involved in our communities? I found that been the easiest way for me to make an impact.
Well, I mean, I think on the community level, really what we have to focus on is building transit systems that work for people and walkable communities.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and sorry to cut you off, but that's like the one thing that we really need to focus on. And for the record, I am very much a car person, right? Like cars are very much my escape. I love them to death. But I hate seeing people who really can't afford a car or don't want to have a car or be relying on one, being forced to be relying on them. And it's like for that we do need to have that systemic change, because at the end of the day, like we're not going to be able to make electric cars for everyone, right? Like that's just not realistic. And I think we can agree that plug-in hybrids or full EVs are really the future. As much as I love my gas cars, I know that that's a simple fact, right? And until we come to that realization that we're not going to be able to have EVs for everyone, we need to have sustainable electric powered trains, and preferably streetcars, shit like that, in order to be able to replace cars until like we have more walkable communities. Because hell, like where I live right now, the nearest grocery store would be like a 35-minute walk for me. Even if I wanted to, that is prohibitively long.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, in comparison, it's a 2.5-minute drive.
Yeah.
And like also like with public transit and all that, one of the common arguments I hear against it is, well, what about safety? What about safety? What about safety? I will say as a survivor that don't worry about that, because the more people normalize riding on public transit, the more people you have on public transit, the less isolated people you can have that shit can happen. And ultimately, at the end of the day, it's on society itself to be able to prevent that shit from happening. Because personally, I don't ride a bus for that reason. I've had shit happen to me when I did take a bus a few times, and it was just like, yeah, I'm done with it. And I hate the fact that that's even something that crossed my mind as someone who's gone through that shit. So yeah, better public transit, safer public transit, normalized. And the only way to get safe public transit is to normalize it. For the love of God, quit putting more cops on public transit systems. That does not help.
Yeah, I don't know how to stress that more. I mean, just like, okay, so like this is a little bit off topic, but in terms of the whole cop situation, right? Like 2020, the George Floyd uprisings happened, right? Pretty much like half of society was pretty unanimous with the whole all cops are bastards thing, right? And then Joe Biden is supposedly a friend of the left, right? And I mean, I'm rolling my eyes at that, but the point is, then look what has happened since he's been elected. He's given more money to the police. He's opening the doors for more militarization, which is something that he said he would not do.
Wait.
But we got to think about the members of the House that control his actions.
Yeah. Oh my God, that's something that I wanted to bring up too. Speaking of the House, holy shit, the Speaker of the House situation, man.
Once, twice,
it's been their agenda the whole time.
I mean, hey, at this rate, Kevin McCarthy is going to lose more than the 2017 Browns. That was the 2017 Browns that went on 16. That's right.
The Detroit Lions did it one year too.
Yeah, but that was back in 2007 or 2008.
Yeah, thanks for making me feel old.
Yeah,
I mean, if it makes you feel any better, I watched that game live, not in person, like on TV. So yeah, so 2008.
Yeah, I don't do the sports, so I'm sure, but I got the reference, so I appreciate it. At least I could guess. And
You're
I'm sorry
welcome.
for my delay. My body is revolting, and you can interpret that in whatever way you want.
Oh.
I mean, I just figured that it's the usual way that people react to looking at me. So it's like you just wanted to run away and like jump off a cliff.
As
That's
like
a
half
joke.
of our
That's
comment
a
section
joke.
is people complimenting you.
Yeah.
Well, no, I know. And
Listen.
it's like, guess what? How many of you are subscribed to my OnlyFans right now? Oh my God.
People, but this is the problem. People pay to look at you. Nobody pays to see me. People pay for me not to be seen. Even my mother said I have the face for radio. Okay.
Yeah, all I'm gonna say is I'm currently I'm just looking at my computer and I do understand why you're saying that people pay to look at me because
Because people do.
yeah, I mean I'm good at my job. That's all I'm going to say is that I am very good at my job, which is why I still do it.
I believe you.
Fair enough.
What was that?
I believe you.
Oh.
And you should promote your business. You should throw up your OnlyFans link so that everybody.
I don't
can
think
join.
I could. I'm pretty sure I would actually get. I'm pretty sure OnlyFans actually gets like flagged by Facebook now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You got to do your link tree instead.
Actually, that is a very good idea. Let me make sure that my all my links is actually updated, and I will drop that.
Boom.
All right. While you
promote
do
some
that,
business
just to kind of circle back to what we were just talking about.
I'm so
because
sorry.
trains- Oh, you're good. You're good. I was just
Okay,
looking
so
at the-
speaking of trains, would you like to know I'm joking?
Oh my god. That is not what I meant. I was looking at the comments. I don't think that when Natalie said we need more trains, that is what she is referring to.
Ooh, that's a little risque there, Rob.
I'm not sorry.
Yes.
Anyway, Natalie said, we need more trains. What the heck? We're so far behind as trains go. Look at anywhere in Europe. Look at almost anywhere in Asia. High-speed rail is a perfectly normal thing in most of the world, but not here. She also went on to say that her boyfriend is a train conductor, so you got his attention as well.
Does he have that cool hat?
Right? That's like the only place you can find those hats.
Well, I guess I know what I'm going to be remembered for from this stream. Well, I mean, I guess it won't be the first time. Probably won't be the last.
I want your next OnlyFans post to be with you with that train conductor hat on.
I mean, what can I say? I'm told I'm a lot of fun at parties.
Yes.
If I subscribe and you're not wearing that fucking train hat, I'm gonna be so pissed.
So you're more than welcome to cash at me, hashtag or cash sign SWT CHAY 97 Sweet Chai 97. You're more than welcome to do that.
And hang on, let me get mine. You can Venmo me. Hang on just a second.
Let's see, my Venmo is at Svetlana Berkatova 97.
If I post my Venmo, I'm gonna get requests for money. That's the problem. We need to put up with your shit all night. Please send me $50.
There we go. I put it. I actually commented it. You're welcome.
Oh,
Natalie
excellent.
said no cool hat, but I should get him one and request that he wear it just because.
Yes.
Do it.
Every time it's sexy time, you can go choo choo and put on the hat and start walking towards the bedroom. This is what we get for having a late night show.
Yeah, this is really taking a turn. Some might say it has gotten derailed.
I did coin, I did say rabbit hole, in the beginning of this whole soiree.
We've legitimately and perhaps literally gone down the rabbit hole.
Mm-hmm. These metaphors are starting to make sense. Something's going on.
I have nothing to say here.
Yeah. You started this.
And I'll make sure I finish it.
Ooh. No comment. Stand out of that. Stand out of that. Save it.
In
for
another
your
news,
OnlyFans.
I am being banned from the streams in the future.
I don't think that's true. I think this is an open invitation now. That'd be my guess.
I mean, in all fairness, I was told that last time and it didn't come back for 11 months. So, I mean, although I will say, I did specifically say the last time I was on this stream, quote, I don't think Russia is actually going to invade Ukraine.
Excellent.
2 days later, they invaded Ukraine.
Yeah, it was literally a couple of days later.
So,
Yeah.
you know,
That was my Russian propagandist coming out, I think.
not very good at foreseeing the future. So,
I mean, I will say, though, I genuinely believe that Russia would go into the Donbass region. I did not think they would go into the entirety of Ukraine. Because I thought that they were just staging everything across like the rest of the area and just like basically flood the Donbass region and just like leave everything else be. But yeah, I never thought Putin would actually be stupid enough to invade the entire country.
I remember being invited on for the next week's show after you'd been on, and they sent me the link to watch the video with you as the guest on the show. And I watched this, and you're like diving into into Article 5, and you're going through all of this stuff with NATO and all this other stuff. And I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go on this show after she just like totally wrecked it. Now I'm gonna go on and I gotta act like I know some shit. You know what I mean? Like, that's not a good idea. I'm great with political philosophy and pretty good with domestic policy, but if you're gonna ask me, like, are we gonna invade, Russia if they invade Ukraine? I can't answer that question.
Well, the answer is no. We're just gonna funnel a shit ton of weapons into Ukraine.
Yeah, yes, back to the Cold War.
Yeah.
No, but my point was, it was super intimidating watching this episode where you guys all chatting.
Me of being intimidating because you're right.
Wow. All right.
I mean, what can I say? I'm a heartbreaker.
Talia, stop flirting with me, okay?
Sorry, I'm lesbian. So actually, the joke that I do is I call myself a green star lesbian.
I'm sorry, I'm a lesbian. Why are you sorry you're a lesbian?
I'm sorry for you.
Oh. I will somehow get by. Thank you very much.
No problem. Ladies, I'm single.
Oh my god!
Wow. And she's got OnlyFans, so you can preview coming attractions.
Yeah, God, it is funny though. Just like being like, yeah, it was an interesting 5 months and a day. Fuck, I just realized I did what my ex-girlfriend did to me. Holy shit. Oh, well, at least it was only after 5 months. Basically, my previous relationship ended a year and a day after it started. But I'm noticing a pattern. I'm noticing a pattern with me.
Yeah.
I like it. At least now I know. It's like, okay, is it an anniversary? Okay, be wary the day after the anniversary.
That you're going to break up with somebody?
Or I'm basically, it's going to end the day after an anniversry. That's
you
why
should
I have to be
open
careful for.
Every relationship.
Oh, she's going to rage quit the group chat tomorrow, you guys.
Yeah. You should start every relationship and open with that. Be like, okay, so listen, here's what you've got. A year and a day. So, just prepare yourself for that. Just have your shit packed before the anniversary.
Yeah.
Hey, so listen, are we going to hear some of William's music tonight?
I believe that was the plan, yeah.
Yes, by all means. You have my permission to play the link.
Let's fucking do it, Rob. Can you?
Does anybody have the link handy?
It was in the group chat.
All right, so guys, I just realized that's actually.
Believe it or not,
11.
I actually recorded a song while we were on air. I'm sorry if I haven't been talking much. I am one hell of a multitasker.
Yes.
Right.
Keep your eyes peeled for that. This one's called Days Like This. It's a collaboration I'm doing with a gentleman out in Georgia. It's a 24-hour turnaround. I received the beat yesterday around this time, and he just received the email.
Play it
Play it.
if we can.
I'm gonna send it. All right, I'm gonna send it. All right.
Send it.
Send it. I'm also scrolling back to yesterday to find the link.
You don't have to scroll back. Hit the
Let me
menu up in
know
the
if it comes through clear.
Then select like where the
Is it coming through clearly?
I mean, I hear it, but it's not exactly clear.
Yeah, it's not coming through clear.
Is that clear enough? I will restart it.
Can you send it to Rob? And Rob, since you're streaming computer audio, if you play through your computer, we'll be able to hear it a lot more clearly.
I'm dropping the liquor bottle in the chat.
I already found it.
Oh,
Did I hear liquor?
Yes.
We can run that one. That one's completed. It was released towards the end of the year alongside 2 other songs with some collaborations out of Chicago with CEO 911.
Okay. All right. Here we go. I was about to start the sound sharing like there hasn't been background music the whole time.
Wishing I could drown my sorrow in a liquor bottle, hoping and a praying I'll see tomorrow. Calmly as my maker, I'ma meet her then. She can watch me burn, she can watch me burn. Watching an Amarillo sunset, thinking the Pueblo whiskey bottle in my left hand. I'm reminiscing on the good old days. Hood light on the tailgate on a summer day. Pick up the phone for some good news. Bonfire 35th lane. I'm on my way in the paper plane. That's Casper for the 10-4 on that getaway. Watch me burn. Wishing I could drown my sorrow in a liquor bottle. Hoping and a praying I'll see tomorrow. Calmly as my maker, I'ma meet her then. She can watch me burn. She can watch me burn. Wishing I could drown my pain in a liquor bottle. All my sorrows, all my pain, all my have-nots. Here in Colorado, haze in the trap spots. Everyone that flew away after gunshots. Blessed life, changed life, you might see tomorrow. Summer days, summer nights, and we all follow. Monday through Saturday, working full throttle. Wishing I could drown it all in a liquor bottle. All the lies that you told on me, all the toxic rays that explode on me. Damn, I gotta do this myself. The bottle back on the shelf, you won't acknowledge my help, so I'm falling. All the lies that you told on me, all the toxic rays that explode on me. Damn, I gotta do this myself. The bottle back on the shelf, you won't acknowledge my help, so I'm falling. Wishing I could drown my sorrow in a liquor bottle. Hoping and a praying I'll see tomorrow. Calmly as my maker, I'ma meet her then. She can watch me burn. She can watch me burn. Dirt road driving ease my mind. Road driving ease my mind. Road driving ease my mind. Dirt road driving ease my mind. Road driving ease my mind. Driving ease my mind. Wishing I could drown my sorrow in a liquor bottle. Hoping and a praying I'll see tomorrow. Calmly as my maker, I'ma meet her then. She can watch me burn. She can watch me burn. She can watch me burn. She can watch me burn.
You're right, Scott. That is really chill.
That
right.
was a really good song.
I do.
Fuck.
Is that song on Spotify by chance?
Yes, it is on every streaming platform worldwide. We're on 300 different platforms: Spotify, Apple Music, iTunes, Google, Deezer, anything you think of, as well as YouTube. If you want to check out some of the visuals at For the Future, that's the number 4, TH, the number 3, FUTUR 3. Again, I'll spell that one more time phonetically. That's for copyright, is where I added the numbers to replace the E's. That is the number 4, TH 3, FUTUR 3. You type us in on any platform and any electronic device, and you'll find us.
Let's drop that link in the chat. If
Yeah.
we can.
Yeah.
And if there's any place that we can buy a CD or help promote you in any way, please let us know. And
absolutely, I can give my cash tag. That is cash tag for the future. Again, for TH3 FUTUR3. We do nonprofit car shows and give college scholarships to kids in the Panhandle of Texas through the West Texas Region SCCA. We actually have a meeting and banquet dinner tomorrow to speak about the Wrench It Scholarship. So any donations are welcome. I'm always available. You can definitely reach out to me on my social networks, For the Future on everything, Official For the Future on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok.
thank you so much for sharing your art with us. That was phenomenal. I fucking
that
love
was
that song
fantastic.
so much. I love that song so
And
much.
it is also one thing I do want to say is like every song is different. I've got so many different genres of music that I work on because I really genuinely love the art form and do it for the love of people and community and bringing people together. And music is a universal language, and I think it needs to go back to being able to speak to everyone. So that's why I make my music the way I make it. Thank you.
We were talking about this the other day in the chat about the power of music and its ability to heal, and Bob Marley was a big proponent of that, and how he had.
Absolutely.
So go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. Speak to that if you can.
Absolutely. As far as Bob Marley, definitely. As far as caring for the earth, nature, each other, the well-being of each other. I mean, you never know what any one man or woman is going through. You never know what that smile or that conversation will get someone through. I relate most to Tupac Shakur. I know y'all know who that is.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
In the fact of I haven't always been this good guy. I made my mistakes in life, and I live by a motto which could be right, it could be wrong. You know, you can't truly be a good person until you've seen a bad person. Just like you can't feel pleasure until you felt pain, or you won't understand love until you felt hate. You get where I'm coming from? Mm-hmm. So with Tupac Shakur, I do love the fact that not only was he a poet, once he's seen the power of his music, he made a change, which is where Brenda's Got a Babies came in. I Ain't Mad at You, the Lord to the Game soundtrack. There's so many tracks for such a short-lived career. And there's thousands of other artists that, I mean, really in genres and spectrums all across the board that you can relate to. There's new younger generation artists that are also on a positive level. J. Cole, Upchurch. There's I don't know how to put it. Music is so important that I'm glad to see that there's still some fighting for the positivity in it.
Yeah. My favorite musician, it is no secret to anybody, I'm pretty open about it, was Tom Petty, of Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. And he said music is probably the only real magic I've encountered in my life. There's not some trick involved with it. It's pure, it's real, it moves, it heals, it communicates, and does all these incredible things. And I feel that like that's it's real magic. Like it's the closest thing we'll come to real magic, and what you do is magical.
Wow. Thank you.
Well, thank you. I mean, really what you're saying about healing the earth, I mean, I think you're exactly right. I think finding music and ways to bring us together in that way, that's how we do it.
Absolutely. I mean, there's people that have met at concerts that have been married for 50 years. I mean, so if you could speak on magic, you could really bring someone's genuine characteristics out with the right song. People listen to it in their happiest moments in life, like marriage, and people listen to it in the worst moments in life, like death and someone passing on, the losing of someone. So I think music is probably the single-handedly most powerful entity that we all have the capability of creating.
Yeah,
I agree.
I see that. And, and it's funny, when you go to a rally, when you go to a march or a rally or protest, there's no other feeling that you can get other than maybe going to a concert. You
Mhm.
have a group of people of all ages, all ethnicities, different, backgrounds, and they're all coming together in this communal, beautiful way, either to enjoy the art or to go out and march for a cause. And I see those two things. That's the only two experiences I've seen that are so similar, you know?
And sharing a common goal. That is the power of unity. The power of bringing those people together, if they were all on their cell phones on different websites, the vibe wouldn't be the same as if they were all there to see Metallica. If they were all there front row to watch John Lennon play. So I think that unity, it's like Bluetooth, everybody's connected and doing the exact same thing at the exact same moment. And I think that's the magic in the shows. Being on the stage for me is something else, when you hear people singing the words to your songs, and it's a feeling better than any drug you can ever experience, better than any alcohol, any form of physical pleasure. I'm telling you, it's something else.
So
Again,
hey guys,
I agree.
One thing I need to throw out there real quick is that I do have to run because I do have to actually try to make a little bit of money tonight. Thanks again for Zen for reminding me about the stream tonight. You're fantastic, and I look forward to hopefully crashing another one of these here fairly soon, especially if we have a late night one.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'm down. This has been a lot of fun. And,
Yeah, I think this should be a thing. It's like it's kind of nice having kind of the chill bit, But
Yeah.
Absolutely. I enjoyed it.
Right,
Well,
we've
yeah.
been trying to start it for a while now, and it's fucking dope. I'm digging it. So, hell yeah, we definitely need to keep this.
Yeah, it's like let me phrase it. The best way I can phrase this is I'm gonna try to catch up on the chat, check up on the chat real quick. If it'll actually let me, I don't think it is. There we go. I'm just a pine cone sometimes.
A pine cone. Excellent.
Yeah. So that's like one of my favorite insults, by the way, is like if you ever want to call someone stupid, just call them I'm just call them a pine cone.
Fucking pine cone.
Anyways, guys.
That's quality shit right there. That is quality shit.
Yep. I mean, I cannot take credit. I cannot take credit for it, unfortunately. But
No, you go ahead and you take credit for it.
I can't. It would be plagiarism, and I just don't feel right. But anyways, guys, I will take credit for introducing all of you guys to the term. But have a great night, and I will see you in 11 months.
That's the line. That's the closer, baby. That's the closer.
Deuces. I'm pulling a Midwestern. I'm pulling a Midwesterner right now by taking forever today to actually leave, aren't I?
Yeah, it's definitely a Midwest thing.
Bye.
Danelle said, I call them Buckeyes.
What the fuck?
I'm assuming that
Usually
that's
call
an
them
Ohio State joke.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about it.
Well, you wouldn't. You're not from the Midwest.
I'm not. Where did you get that impression?
Oh, well, the accent. I've never heard you say ope.
I've never said ope. I'm not even sure what ope would be in response to.
Oh, there's a video for that. Give me a second.
Oh, great. There's a video for that.
I've got a link. Quick draw.
That's hilarious because Talia got it. She said in the comments, "Don't insult me. Go Wolverines."
Yeah. Yes, that's the alma mater. Okay, here, let me.
I mean, I don't even really watch sports, but I'm from Michigan, so I hate Ohio by default.
I hate Ohio by default.
Fair play.
Have you ever been to Ohio, Scott?
Yes.
Isn't it terrible?
I've been to Dayton, Ohio. You know what the best thing to do in Dayton, Ohio is?
Leave.
Pack up and get the fuck out. That's what the best thing to do in Dayton, Ohio is.
No.
That's no.
We're never gonna have viewers in Ohio.
Yeah,
That may be the ones who.
I've never been, and I'm second thinking myself now. Second
yeah, I just killed the whole Dayton audience right there.
Corbin said you can go to Ohio.
It's a place. I say hope, and I thought everyone did. Can you explain it, Natalie? What is OPE?
I mean, my grandpa used to say that right before somebody, got whacked in the head with something, like, before you have a chance to holler, watch out, it's already there, so OPE comes out,
Oh, yeah, we have that in New England. It's, oh, shit.
Yeah. I mean, I've said that a few times in the Panhandle of Texas, so.
I think I have an educational video if Trisha hasn't found it yet.
Of OPE.
Oh, wait, actually, Trisha sent a link. Hold on. Let's see. It's the
all right,
same
guys.
video.
Welcome back to the School of OPE.
Same one.
Yeah, why don't we just start with everyone kind of just introduce yourself to your neighbor. Good. All right, so we might as well just hop right into it. What's the definition of OPE? Do we have anyone?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. OPE is a polite apologetic OPE is a polite apologetic exclamation expressing a sincere remorse for using oxygen on planet Earth. Also used to say, wow, excuse me, you dropped this, I need a beer, plus 100,000 other situations.
Good. Someone studied over the weekend. And what do we say here at the School of OPE? When in doubt, OPE it out. Just a little refresher from last week. The origin, Midwestern United States. The pronunciation. I know you had trouble with it last week, but we'll start here.
I practiced though.
You did? Good. Yeah, let's take the training wheels off.
Okay.
Oh. There you go.
I like that.
How about type of word?
What do you mean by type of word?
Noun, adjective, verb.
Yes.
Yep, exactly. We've all heard I before E except after C. Here at the School of OPE, we go OPE before sorry except after G's.
So instead of saying geez, OPE, sorry, it would be geez, sorry, OPE.
Exactly. Everything here that the light touches is where we say OPE.
Wow. What about them shadowy places?
They eat avocado toast and acai bowls. No. You must never go there. All right, for you youngsters out there, how do we express OPE in emoji form? Yes.
Is it just the emoji where the guy's going?
Yeah, we'll take a look. Yeah, I guess there it is. I see it now. That makes sense. Pop quiz, everyone.
Is it open notes?
Yeah, you can use your notes.
Thank gosh.
Someone cuts you off in traffic. What do?
Oh, sorry.
There you go. Correct this pop song. Oops, I did it again.
Oh, I did it again.
A little off key, but...
Oh, sorry. Shoot. Me.
You're walking into the bathroom as someone's walking out of the bathroom.
Oh, let me squeeze right past you.
Good. Whoop, there it is.
Oh, there it is.
You dealt with OPE?
Yeah, you know me.
All right, you're at the bar. You order a bush latte, and the bartender brings you a White Claw. What do?
Oh, sorry. If I wanted this, I'd go to the bank, get one of them free suckers, then dip it in a LaCroix.
And then maybe you take them out back.
Oh, sorry to reprimand you like this, but you got to withdraw from the claw. Talk some sense into them.
Good. I like that. Walk into a gas station, you're going for a slice of pizza. You and another person, standoff. What do?
Oh, one slice of pizza left. No, by all means, you take it. Oh, but would you mind if I just take one of them pepperonis?
You are entitled to one pepperoni,
One
yes.
pepperoni. Phew. Hey, when in doubt, OPE it out.
There you go. Let's say your best friend's ferret dies.
Oh, sorry for your loss.
Oh, nope. Trick question. You say oofda. And that school's down the way.
Teach is a trickster.
Make sure you write that down. That will be on the test.
Oh, you betcha, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And keep her moving.
I got to tell you, I love that Midwest accent.
Well-based support.
It is the most endearing accent that there is the Midwest accent. It doesn't sound uneducated. It doesn't sound obnoxious. It's just adorable. Like anybody with a Midwest accent, automatically adorable. Man, woman, child, everybody's fucking adorable. If a dog could bark in a Midwest accent, it'd be adorable. I don't know what it is. I don't know why that accent just is fantastic.
He's got me tempted to teach Doom to ope.
Oh,
I mean, Doom tries to talk.
I might be able to do it.
That was hilarious.
Corbin says, I say ope instinctively.
So
Uh-huh. It just comes out. There's no choice
That was-
in the message. Oh, excuse me.
Yeah, that video was pretty much what I meant, when I was talking about my grandfather. Oh, shit, should have ducked,
Should have ducked. Should have ducked. Excellent. Now, I'm wondering if there's anything...
Now remember, ope before sorry, except after G's.
That's fantastic. That's the best bit. I'm wondering if there's anything distinctively New England that is like that. Because I don't
know, but like I work in a kitchen that has a corner, right? And you say corner when you go around the corner, but it's like corner.
Corner.
There's no R's. There should be two.
Yeah. So in most parts of the country, khakis are pants, but in Boston, khakis are what you start your car with.
Yep.
It's a little different here.
Yeah, that's what we'll call it. Different.
Yeah. Different. Well, that's what I mean. I think the Bostonian accent sounds a little uneducated, but the Midwest, Dorbs.
Oh, that's funny. Natalie said we were playing COD, as in Call of Duty, and I just said ope after shooting at a friendly. I kid you not. And then our regular Natalie said, I really thought everyone said it everywhere.
Nope. Sorry.
So did I.
I did hear it a fair amount in Arizona when I lived there, but to be fair, there's a lot of Midwestern transplants in Arizona.
Yeah. Arizona is just one state made up of all the other states.
State
Pretty
48.
Yeah. Corbin asked me to drop my OnlyFans.
You're gonna have to do
Oh man.
I don't have one. People would, but if I did, it would just be me starting off naked and everybody paying me to put clothes back on. It'd be like a living paper doll, Okay, $50, put the pants on. That's why I don't. That's why I have to work for a living.
Yeah.
Me too. I feel your pain, brother. I feel your pain.
So, William, you said that you do like a bunch of different genres. Do you make any metal at all?
Oh, here we go.
I am actually working on a project currently with The Vacant. They're a big band comprised of drummers from, I do believe, 5 different bands, drummers, guitarists, and lead singers from about 5 different bands. Look them up. They've done quite a bit of traveling, as well as a few other projects. I've got a project going with Casey Sullivan and Sub-Average Outfitters. We're working on something for the Discovery Channel, as well as I am working with Tate Mayberry. He is an unknown artist, but I have huge expectations and high faith. He's a very talented young man. So there's a few projects that will definitely be getting completed this year. We got started and kicked the ball around on the drawing board last year around this time, but I was already entangled in so many different projects. I had to set it for the 2023 calendar, but those are going to be some of my larger projects this year.
Excellent. You'll keep
Yeah,
us
that's exciting.
apprised of everything for us, will you?
Oh, absolutely. I'll definitely make sure I keep the group updated.
Yes.
Because I want to make sure I venture out into every genre that I can. That's kind of my goal with music. People, one of my motivation, it is to challenge myself to understand as many different forms of music as I can, because the way it speaks to my soul,
Right
I tune my car stereos to Metallica, nothing else matters. So if that says anything, we do build some pretty wild speakers at Moon Diamond Audio. And when I tune the feathers, people always ask me why I tune to that song. I don't know. It speaks to me. The instruments, the vocals, everything's right. It's crisp.
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds like you have somebody to jam with.
As far as the Black Album goes, like as a whole, like, I mean, a lot of metalheads shit on it because it's like not metal enough or whatever. But like, listen to the production on that album.
Yes. So crispy. I mean, unbelievably crispy. I don't know how they did that. You can't even hear the air moving. I mean, come on now. Sounds like everything's frozen in time and just their vocals are bleeding through space.
Ooh, I like that. How poetic.
Yeah. That's way better than I could have said it.
Yeah.
You like liquor bottle. Wait till you go down that rabbit hole.
I have to appreciate the way that you really suck at transitions, Rob.
What?
What
are we transitioning to? We're still talking about music.
No, but before we started the whole conversation with William, you were like, so how about that music?
Yeah, you're not too far off there, are you?
It's like somebody asking you about the weather.
I do that in real life.
He does. It's true.
Has definitely not changed in the last 2 years, Will, and that is that we are still awkward motherfuckers. So our intros and outros have transitioned. The socially awkward shines through.
It's the only reason why we have a podcast that lasts 3 fucking hours. Is because nobody knows how to transition to the end.
There's some truth to that.
We have no way to say, shut up, comrade. Let's finish this.
Corbin said he just wanted to talk about heavy metal. He couldn't help it. Which is also true.
You couldn't wait to turn it to his music.
Hey man, I listen to a lot of different types of music, okay? But it always comes back to metal for me in the end. Like that's what I vibe with,
I respect that. It was not a criticism so much. It was just pointing out the fact that nope, it was a criticism. You suck at transitions. That's it.
I do. I'll own that one.
But to be fair, you do that in conversations in real life, so it's not like just a broadcast problem.
Yep.
No, but we have a lot of really musically talented people in the group. I'm just not one of them. So when William was like, let's talk about music, and I'm like, yeah, let's do that. And then, but let's talk about media too, like social media, video games and movies and shit. And he's like, no, just music. All right.
Who else does music? Who else is involved in entertainment? I'm curious. You struck a chord.
Well, I do videos.
I see what you did there.
As a gamer, I play video games, so I have some, avenue into that world. But I make videos. I do video editing, so there's that. So I have something to do with that, I guess.
Right.
Okay.
Well, I mean, I make music. Zen makes music. Sterling makes music. Nate makes music. I feel like I'm missing somebody.
I need links.
Oh yeah, you got to send William. You see, he's big in the music business, so we need to get him everybody's stuff.
He's
he can
big,
start
like
collaborating with
like
some
the
people.
next Rick Rubin.
Wow.
The goal is actually to be a mogul. I'm more than an artist, more than a producer, more than a promoter.
Well, if you need help with promoting, let me know.
Scott's a marketing guy.
I'm a marketing guy. Yeah, I'm in marketing. Listen, this smooth jazz is making me want sexy time.
Mm-hmm. Understood.
Put me in the mood.
Yeah. I call that a pizza party.
Corbin said, I make really good sandwiches.
That's a fucking art. Okay.
It is. Why do you think Subway employees are called sandwich artists?
Sandwich artists is great. I just saw a comment about transitions being your forte.
Oh, did I miss that?
Yeah, you must have.
Oh, yes, I did. Danelle said, transitions are your specialty. Don't let them tread on you.
Yes. If you mean awkwardly changing the subject, that is his specialty.
That that kind of is how it works, isn't
it? We met up at Providence Place, this giant mall, which was my suggestion, by the way. Rob was like, "Hey, let's get a bunch of leftists together." We were meeting up
for anti-capitalist activities at the giant bastion of capitalism in the heart of Providence,
the capitalist mecca of all of Rhode Island. So, which was my suggestion. I will take the hit on that one. And so we get together and we all eat because that's the first thing when we get there. We all need to settle in. We all have food, and we're having this conversation. And at some point, Rob tries to get us to go outside and go actually do things. And I remember it going over like a lead balloon. And I was like, yeah, let's just finish our food. And so like an hour later, I had to be like, hey guys, so what are we here for? Let's that was the way that we actually finally end up leaving the mall. But
that is, I was gonna say, that is the way that we started on our adventure to find the fucking ground.
This Corbin's cracking me up. I was a Subway employee and I had a random customer watching say that she felt like I was making music.
And then went on to say it's a part of who I am.
Fucking epic. Epic. Oh, anyway, we actually ended up going to Red Ink after that and making some pretty solid plans. So it was not a waste of a day. I don't want anybody to think that we were unproductive. And Emily distributed pamphlets for us by throwing them on the floor. Distributed.
It's true. I see.
Express mail.
Express mail.
Express mail. Air to ground shipping.
Air to ground. Oh, listen. We are approaching 2 in the AM. My time.
Yeah, we are.
And I don't know if we have other ground we want to cover before we wrap this up, but I figured I would help with the transition so that you didn't have to deal with it.
Yeah.
As long as it's an air to ground transition.
Me dumping my computer over the side and being, fuck this, I'm done.
I don't think that there's necessarily anything else that I'm super interested in talking about. I did there was a couple things that I wanted to bring up briefly, and I wanted to riff on the Speaker of the House election, but I mean, we don't really need to.
No, let's talk about it. If you want to go into it, let's go into it.
Well, I haven't been paying that much attention, but I do have social media accounts. Right.
So you can't help but pay attention.
Yeah,
The
exactly.
Breakfast of Champions.
And I mean, like, okay, so like, here's my question. How many times are the Republicans going to put up the same guy?
Well, at least 11. At least,
Like,
so 12. At least 12. This is his 12th time.
There was a Democratic representative that like posted an image on his Twitter of him, like, the caption was heading to the House floor for the vote, and he had a bag of popcorn in his hand.
Excellent. Oh
Man.
Yeah. I don't know how many times you can lose and still save face. It feels to me like I think you're right. They should have put somebody else up, but there's nobody else that would win. So they got to.
Well, neither is he.
Right. So what do they got to give to get this guy to win? They've got to be giving some shit away to get this guy in. It's the only thing I can think of. He's giving up a lot of concessions to make this happen.
I mean, what kind of concessions though? Like I said, I haven't really been paying that much attention. I've been working.
Seats on various committees, I assume.
Yeah, that checks out.
Yeah.
I don't. It's hard to say. We'll see what he. Oh, hang on. You know what? BBC has what has Kevin McCarthy given up and at what price? Excellent. That seems timely. That particular thing.
I mean, but the wording reminds me of like any China article. Like, China has the biggest economy on earth, but at what cost?
Yeah. That's clickbait shit right there. At
Right.
what cost?
Clickbait.
Your
Flying car
children,
spotted over a lake.
your children
Clickbait.
are healthier than ever, but at what cost? Who writes this shit? Oh. Wow. The reason regular order is supposed to. He's giving
All
up
right,
all sorts
y'all.
of shit. All right. Listen. Have a great night, guys. I'm gonna leave.
Yes, I too am gonna head out. I've got to operate some heavy equipment in the morning. So.
I mean, that's fine. If we're all gonna leave,
Listen.
then I'll make this wrapping up quick.
Before we go, can we do an awkward silence for a little while? Just
Why not?
I don't know. I'm a mouth breather.
Let's just.
I mean, maybe I'll just start the outro music and just be done.
I didn't want to kill your vibe.
Scott's working real hard at that awkward silence, though. He's doing the finger guns. Anyway, I'm gonna play the music. I'm tired. I'm delusional at this point. It's been wonderful. I can't wait to do it again. We should do the late show thing more often, I think.
Okay.
Is that a Friday night thing?
I'm game. Let's make it a Friday night thing.
All right. We'll talk about it more in the chat.
All right. Right on.
All right.
All right.
Well,
Happy anniversary, everybody.
Yeah.
Happy anniversary.
Save the fear in the The